I'm Kate Gale. I'm the publisher and CEO of Red Hen Press. I've been working at Red Hen for 31 years. Our mission statement is building diversity, diverse literature, and building literacy. So I think of those as our twin pillars.
What stood out to me about Red Hen Press was that it has a Writing in the Schools program. I had done similar community outreach when I was in graduate school, and also that it's a really big family. I felt like everybody actually likes each other, actually talks to each other. It's a place where I come through and I kind of feel like I'm coming to a house party when I get to wave to everybody and see old friends again.
Red Hen is more than just a press, it's a community of writers. And that's what makes it so appealing and so exciting.
I'm Toby Harper Petrie, and I'm Deputy and Marketing Director of Red Hen Press. I have been full-time here for 10 years.
To me, being an indie press means getting to publish really cutting-edge literature that's moving the zeitgeist forward and getting to represent authors who are otherwise not being represented by the Big Five or by corporate presses.
How different is our commitment to be literary citizens?
What sets Red Hen apart from other publishers is that we are looking for stories that are completely unique and that are not being picked up by big corporate publishing houses. And then we're building a partnership with those authors.
I would vouch for and support Red Hen Press right now because of the fight against literacy. And because, again, Red Hen is bringing books into the world from people who oftentimes don't get to speak at the table. And so because of Red Hen, we have another generation of readers, another generation of writers, another generation of folks who are able to think critically, which I think we need so much right now. And also because Red Hen publishes people from communities like mine. When I was growing up and going to school, I didn't see many books written by people who were from my neighborhood, and Red Hen does just that.
Indie publishing is important because we are publishing the kind of work that really moves literature forward. The Big Five recently said during a Department of Justice interview that they referred to indie presses as the farm teams, as in they farm the highly talented authors from our publishing houses. And it was meant to be an insult, I think, but I thought of it as an acknowledgement that we are finding the true cutting-edge literature that's moving everything forward and really changing the future and changing how people see themselves in literature.
When I think of audience, I do think of our having an audience that ranges from Gen Z and millennials reading the spec fiction and the science fiction and maybe the mystery books that we've published, the murder mystery book that we published last year, to maybe more Gen X audience for some of the more serious literary fiction.
The current state of affairs, we're stepping backwards when it comes to building and empowering people creatively, and when you do that, you take away people's empathy, and that mission is to really build empathy in other people so we could teach each other to try to understand how to live with everybody else in the world.
More and more, particularly young people, love listening to podcasts, and that podcast generation has begun listening to audiobooks.
Print and publishing are so important these days because we spend our entire lives on screen. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree. And it's really meaningful to be able to pick up a physical book and go to a park or a beach and just get lost with the story.
Oh, that's my favorite day. And I love listening to this podcast because we get to talk about books to the literary community on a global scale.
I think there's just a huge market for audiobooks. A lot of young people love those. And just people that are mobile, they're driving around like listening to audiobooks.
And we're very proud of this. We did have a completely different cover before this that we had settled on. And as artistic director, it was about to launch, and I'm like, no, we can do better than that. That's not the entire literary life, is writing a book and reading a book. There are places where authors go out in the world in public spaces, they engage the public, they read their books. A lot of times there's music involved, art. It's an artistic form. Literature is art.
It's a community of writers. It's a group of people who care deeply about the work, about spreading the word, about community, about poetry in the schools, about sharing what's beautiful in the world and the truth in the world.
Well, the story of the name of Red Hen came from the Little Red Hen. So Little Red Hen basically wanted to have some wheat and asked if any of the other farm animals would help out, and no one else wanted to help. And so she ended up planting the wheat, and then she asked for more help with the harvesting, and no one wanted to help. Eventually, she wanted help with baking the bread, and no one wanted to help. And so she had to do it all herself. And LA's a sprawl city where it's kind of hard to get people together. And it was just Mark and I doing the work. And so my feeling was, wow, everybody wants to be published, but everybody isn't kind of helping out.
Well, yeah, I mean, now we have people helping with every stage of the bread, the seeding, harvesting, grinding, making the bread. I feel like now we've really evolved into like the happier Red Hen, I like to think, not the sad, lonely Red Hen where everyone's trying to eat their bread. We've definitely adapted into a more community-oriented, but also community-supported press.
There are a lot of worthy causes, and we all try to figure to whom should we give our money and our support, and there's a lot of choices. But if we love literature, if we love writing, if we love community of writers, if we want to keep this world open through the words that we use and the stories that we tell and the people whose lives are so important and whose lives are marginalized in a lot of cases because they don't get their stories out. If we want to keep growing a community of young people who love to read, who are excited about reading and writing, if all this matters, Red Hen Press is the place to support.
The amount of opportunities they give voices like mine, who often get lost again, because we're of a demographic that is not paid attention to very much.
And the reason that I have given my one wild and precious life to doing this work, and that I hope other people will find this important as well, is that every book that we're publishing is one person who gets to tell a story, and the support that people give us allows that story to get into the hands of multiple readers. When you agree to support Red Hen, you are agreeing to be the hero in the life of a storyteller who wants to change the world.
Acknowledging that we're not alone is the most important thing that we can do as a human being, and being able to teach that and nurture that is really important.
Because we need readers, we need people who can critically think, we need people who can communicate. And through writing in the schools, Red Hen does that, and also by supporting writers like me and professors like me. Without Red Hen, my work wouldn't be out in the world. People who write like me wouldn't be out in the world. So I think at this moment, we need to support Red Hen especially.
Honestly, I hope for the future of Red Hen, I hope for really just more of what we're doing. I feel like we already are really on track for accomplishing what we want to accomplish. We're just trying to do it better quality, better focus, really figuring out how to support our authors, support our staff, and support our literary community more effectively. We're really not looking to do 40 books a year. We're really looking to give our 25 books a year the best chance they possibly can out in the world.
Because I had a dream of making books happen for other people, because I had grown up without books. And so in the future for Red Hen, that dream of making books happen for other people becomes a really big dream. And Red Hen receives a transformative gift that makes it possible for us to do what we're doing on a much grander scale. I'm looking forward to this dream.